Hello Battlefielders, Aaron Sampson here to tell you why you should listen to your commander.
Be advised, enemy UAV in orbit.
So you're running around the map and a little green icon appears from nowhere. Do you A, shrink in terror, B, recite prose to it, or C, shut your yapper and go to the designated spot? If you answered C, then you understand that a benevolent presence called the commander, who has much better situational awareness than you, has commanded your insignificant ass to go take care of an objective. The commander, in case you missed it, unlocks at level 10 and can be accessed from here in battle log or from here in game. Through continuous UAV scans, the commander knows what's going on almost any objective in the map, can tell you where the enemy team is, what they're doing, turn off their ability to 3D spot, and even launch gunships and cruise missiles depending on the map. Let's start with the basics and work our way to the tricky and deadly. The commander mode gives, above all else, situational awareness. This is what the map looks like from the ground, and this is what it looks like to a commander. The commander can take in the entire map or zoom in and watch gunfights from a satellite view. UAV scans can be used every few seconds and reveal enemy troops and vehicles within an objective-sized area. Except for lone wolves on the enemy team, the commander more or less knows where everyone is on the map, and especially if they're making a hard push for any given objective. So the first thing a commander must do is tell you where to go and in what numbers. They do it with this triangle icon, and it looks like this to a ground level soldier. Soldiers can and should confirm the order through the comma rows because points. The commander can use this simple tool to tell your armor where the enemy armor is, can say go tell a lone recon player to capture a far objective to draw the enemy away, or tell players where that obnoxious spawn beacon is hiding, and so on. A good tip for the commander is to occasionally tell players to go where they're already going and pick up some easy points along the way. As players do what they've been told and cap objectives, your commander powers grow in one of three directions. The top tree is all about more situational awareness. This tree also lets you start fighting against the enemy commander. The EMP power blinds an area for the opposing commander, shuts down 3D spotting for enemy soldiers, and is rumored to be able to damage the AC-130 on the enemy team. The bottom tree on the commander screen reaches down to squad commanders and allows you to issue orders, promote them, give them faster respawns, or bless them with an ATV or supply crate. Typically, ATVs are only helpful on maps such as Rogue Transmission, where your team might have to make a long initial run. Supply crates, on the other hand, allow players to change classes. Drop one next to a player doing jack-all and encourage them to switch to engineer and do something useful. Or even better, drop them on the heads of enemy recon players and watch them go splat. You don't really get credit for the kill, but I do guarantee a warm, fuzzy feeling. Speaking of, let's talk about killing as the commander. The tree to the right of the commander tool employs deadly weapons and mass sweeps of the map for enemy soldiers and vehicles. These abilities are based entirely on your team capping specific objectives. See the required objective to the left of the commander screen. For the most part, UAV scans make larger sweeps redundant, but they're good if you feel like you've lost focus on the flow of the overall battle, and maybe a good first grab to see what the enemy is up to right away. The weapon on the far right is another story. On some maps, this gives you a gunship, and on others, a cruise missile. In our opinion, the gunship's a little better deal since it's manned by players and orbits the battlefield until it's shot down. Tell your team when you've deployed one and which objectives to shoot at first. A team without a commander won't get the gunship even if they cap the objective. The cruise missile is the other weapon you get and may look pretty, but it can be blocked by enemy commanders fairly easily with proxy attacks, give teams ample warning to evac the area, and generally kills fewer people than you might think. It's mostly good at clearing bases by getting enemies to flee through intimidation. Make sure to zoom in all the way and enjoy your work. So let's put this all together. You have a squad heading for a capture point you need to take. You've been saving up your commander points and are ready to rock from on high. You launch a UAV scan and realize the base is crawling with enemy soldiers. You decide to commit a nearby tank and several squad commanders. As they approach, you proxy attack the enemy commander so they can't warn their players. You EMP the objective to shut down 3D spotting, and then give your squad lightning fast respawns or promotions to bolster their effectiveness. Just before they enter the base, you bring up a cruise missile to focus enemy attention on fleeing, or you get an AC-130 in the air and draw their attention to the sky. By the time the enemy commander comes back online, the objective is yours, and so are a ton of points. So next time you see that little green objective marker appear in your view, nut up, confirm the order, and sally forth knowing an invisible Skyman has your back.
I have eyes on enemy LAV just east of your location.